Cuckoo!
Good evening, everybody, and happy Monday? This is Monday. It's been a long day. Yeah. It's been a very, very long day, but we're here and we're ready to talk to you about all things weight loss.
Yeah, so today we're going to answer a question that we've had 3 times in the last 3 days, actually.
Yeah. Guys, so as you know, we've got an intake at the moment. The doors are open to our membership, so you're going to see a bunch of posts all over our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. And this is the time where we get into conversations with people. People think, oh, I want to lose weight, but this, and this. And everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their issues. Everyone's got their exercise history. The doors will be open for a couple of weeks or until all the spaces go, because it is a limited intake. But this question has come up 3 times, so I thought actually it's a perfect opportunity to come on, do a live coaching session, give you all the answer to that question, and then we can absolutely do a live Q&A. We can stay on for as long as required. Yeah. So that question is...
And this is a common question. Not to say anybody asked it, it's common.
But it's funny because we're building this up, but actually it's because we've called the live this question. You know what the question is.
Is it how to lose weight after having children? Very, very common that when people or when ladies have children, they struggle to get the weight off afterwards, sometimes called the baby weight. Now, some of the things we're going to talk about can absolutely apply to the guys, minus the baby part. The principles and whatnot we will cover, but more often than not, the ladies are dialing in, they'll hopefully resonate with some of the tips and advice we can give you.
Now, so first and foremost, this seems to be a bit of an ongoing issue, I guess. Certainly we experienced it when we had our children, and the midwives would be saying, and the consultants would be saying to the females, oh, your body will never be the same again. Oh, that's it, you're going to be putting weight on now. And I remember my wife was talking about, losing the weight afterwards. This is when she was pregnant, and it was like, no, you won't be able to lose weight afterwards, that'll be you now, that's it. And I was kind of like, what kind of mindset is that to give somebody? And it's absolutely ridiculous. So the first thing you have to consider is that your mind is in control of everything else. Okay, if you have to believe that it's possible, because it is possible. Of course it is possible. That's what we've been doing for a long time now. We've been helping people lose weight for a long time, and more often than not, it's for women who have had children. Okay, I would dare say it's about 75% of our clients are women who have had children, if not more than 75%. And we've got pretty good success rates with it. So first and foremost, understand that yes, absolutely, it's possible, and it's more than possible, it's very, very probable that you can lose the weight, and you will lose the weight when you put the lifestyle in place.
Now, for the first 8 to 10 weeks after giving birth, the hormone relaxin will still be bouncing around your system. This hormone loosens all the joints and allows the birth canal to prep for birth, if you like. And it's still floating around 8 to 10 weeks later, depending, which means resistance exercise is usually frowned upon in that period of time. But there are still a bunch of things that you can do in the short period. You can focus on drinking your water, getting the nutrition right, making sure you get what sleep you can, given you to have a newborn. And after that period of the 8 to 10 weeks, once relaxing is dissipated, you can then start building back up your fitness, building back up the muscle tone, and getting a more resistance program included in your routine.
Yeah, so depending on the method of birth also, if you have had a C-section, then it's a little bit longer recovery. If you've had a natural birth, then you can naturally get back to your fitness a little bit quicker, because you've had you've not been sliced right through the muscles. Understanding that there's other things have happened. Let's not go into the details there, because we're not experts on those lady parts. But we're going to guess that most of you listening right now, your children are not babies anymore. They might be toddlers, they might be sort of young children, they might even be teenagers by now. We've had many clients who go like, yeah, I just need to lose the baby weight. Like, oh, how old's your baby? And like, 21. And it's because sometimes you have kids and it just you never seem to sort of really engage with the process, and you're still carrying around that baby weight. So regardless of when you've had children, whether they are newborns or whether they're toddlers whether they're in their teens or even in their 20s or even in their 30s, doesn't matter. If you've had children and your body has been struggling ever since, then this live coaching session is for you. It's about kind of taking ownership of your own body again and saying, this is my body and I'm in control of how I move, what I feed it, how much I rest, what I consume, not just physically but mentally and emotionally too, because that will all have an impact on your well-being too.
Now, in terms of nutritionally, one of the first things you want to do is start to plan out and construct your day. Now, naturally, you're going to be looking after the newborn, so you're going to be prioritising its feeding times, but you also have to take care of your own too. Now, meal prepping, if you can fit that in, will make your life so much easier. So then, looking out, we all tend to know healthy things we should be eating, but if you don't plan ahead during this time, there'll be times during the night when you're tired and you might reach for junk food, or you've not had much sleep and then through the day you're just reaching for junk and then you're feeding the baby in between, all this kind of stuff. So you want to be setting a structure for your meal plans. You can achieve this by meal prepping, creating healthy meals that have got a good source of protein, lots of vegetables, and good source of fats in there as well. And then, you know, have it all prepped so you know what you're having for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and anything in between that's spread out, and have it all there, because you want to minimise that thought process, because your mind is going to be all on the baby in that period of time. And if you've got the meals covered because they're already prepped and in Tupperware in your fridge, that's half the battle.
Yeah. Even if your children are, again, toddlers, teenagers, you're still a mother. And again, the guys out there as well, you know, let's not just make this about for the females. Guys out there, like, we're both fathers. We understand that, you know, you've got a little bit more sort of responsibility. Your mind is on other things as well, and naturally you want to provide. That's what men do. We feel that need to provide. And again, it's different to the females. The females provide as well, but the females provide nurture and love and comfort and you know, everything else that goes along with it. Guys, we feel a bit kind of lost sometimes. We provide resources. We go out and work, and we go, I have to work harder, and I'll potter around and do different things. So, but regardless of how old your children are, you're still mother, you're still father, you're still got those responsibilities. But we'll keep speaking directly to the females for now. Sorry guys, we don't mean any harm. But we'll keep speaking directly to the females. Regardless of how old your children are, they are still your priority, and again, it's a naturally motherly instinct to make them your priority. So everything that Rav's saying about, you know, meal prep, there are times throughout the day, throughout the week, that you will have time for yourself. So take advantage of it. Meal prepping, regardless of how old your children are, so that if I say to you, what are you having for lunch tomorrow? You go, that. Right there, that's what I'm having. I know I'm having that chicken and vegetables, whatever you've meal prepped. It should be like a no-brainer. You know exactly what you're having. Whereas more often than not, if I say to people, what are you having for lunch tomorrow? They go, what a silly question that is. Why are you asking me what I'm having for lunch? I have no idea what I'm having for lunch tomorrow. I'll decide tomorrow at 11:30, you know. So start planning these things, because when you plan out what you're having for your breakfast, lunch and dinner, and yes, it's okay to change that from time to time. But if you know roughly what you're having and you've meal prepped a bunch of stuff, I can guarantee that your willpower will not be tapped into, because everyone's got a certain amount of willpower each day, and it'll be used for varying things. One of the main things will be, what am I having for my tea, what am I having for my lunch, and what am I going to exercise or not. But when you meal prep, that willpower is then not used. You're like, what are you having for lunch? That, it's right there. All I have to do is put it in the microwave, or I can actually eat it cold. So it paves the way to then focus your attention, your energy on more important tasks.
So you've got meal prep in the bag, so you're choosing healthier foods. The next thing you want to do is you want to be thinking about your movement. So even in the first 8 to 10 weeks, you can be getting out for walks, assuming that you haven't had a dissection. If you have a dissection, is it after 6 weeks, I think you're allowed to?
Yeah, they normally say about 3 months.
Yeah. So you can get out, get moving, okay? Now, when you then embark and you're allowed to start doing resistance exercise, you want to build up slowly. If you've had a section, or even if you've had a natural birth, one of the things you might want to think about doing is rewiring the core. Now, we cover this in our video, you can find on YouTube, how to fix your lower back pain. and we discuss a particular movement about rewiring the abdominals. Now, if they've been cut through in the section, or depending on when you're carrying, how they're stretched, the brain rewires its pathways for using certain muscles for certain movements. Now, if a muscle group is out of commission, your brain will think of a more efficient way, or the most efficient way, without using that muscle to perform the exercise. So sitting up, for example, if you've had a section, the abs are out of commission, they've been cut through. It'd be silly to try and use the abdominal muscles after you've done that. So what the brain will do, it will use a lot of the muscles in the spine, probably a bit of the hip flexors in there, a bit of momentum from the upper body to get someone to sit up. Now, if you don't rewire these muscles afterwards, then you will continue to use all those alternative muscles to do that movement. It's not uncommon in clients that we've worked with, when they're doing crunchies, they're like, I don't feel this in my abs at all. And they could literally do a million of them and just not feel it. They feel it all on their back and the hip flexor and everywhere else. And it's because, and more often not, you ask them the question, well, have you had a section? Yes, all my children were. Okay, did you ever rewire the abs afterwards? No, what's that? And they didn't know. Yeah. So
even without the section, even if you just had a natural birth, the process of actually carrying a child, when you're, I'm going to stand up for this one, when you're carrying a child, you're kind of here, what's going to happen is your lower back's going to get very, very tight because all the weight's at the front, and your lower back has to work overtime to try and support that weight. So then even after you give birth, what you'll find is the abs are completely, they become stretched to oblivion, and then your lower back is so tight because it has to be strong. It has to be strong during that 9 months of carrying your baby. So even in natural birth, you'll still have to fire back up your abs.
I'm just sharing the video both into YouTube and
Cool.
Facebook. So this is the video that we did years ago that still stands the test of time. It's how to fix your low back pain. So we'll cover some of this rewiring techniques. So if you've had a section or a heavy carry, and if you don't feel your abs working when doing an ab routine, because ultimately, let's face it, when you've had children, one of the first things you want to do is tighten up the tummy. And you do all the crunches in the world, and if you're not feeling it because the abs aren't actually working, you need this video. So one moment. There we go.
Cool. So, firing back up the ab muscles, okay, is very, very vital for your core strength. When you get a strong core, your lower back starts to ease off, you'll feel a little bit more comfortable, you'll feel a bit more confident in your body, because again, you've kind of got to surrender to that magical process, and it is a magical process, giving birth and carrying a baby. As a guy, we're kind of like amazed at looking at that process, like, man, you fucking grew a human being. Fuck. It is a magical process, but it does mean surrendering your body to that process, okay? And that surrendering process is vital, but then afterwards you've then got to reclaim your body, okay? And actually having a strong core, loosen up your lower back, feeling your posture, being able to move more. This is building up and building up and building up, and this is the process that we would encourage you to then follow. And again, this is not just for newborns. This applies if your kids are toddlers, teenagers, in their 20s. You still got to reclaim your body after that process, okay? So regardless of how old your kids are, go through that process of saying, no, this body is mine. I had to surrender it for this process. And we still do surrender on a day-to-day basis, just not as extreme as that. But reclaim your body, get the abs back in shape, get your core strength, being able to hold yourself properly with pride, sit up nice and tall, stand nice and tall, walk nice and tall. And that is a big part of the process, moving into more specific exercise.
Now, when it comes to the exercise side of things, sometimes people ask, well, what exercise should I do? Now, there's lots of different exercises you can do. But the principles remain the same. You want them to be RIP, which is regular, intense, and progressive. So no matter what program you go online, you might say, I'm going to try this particular routine or this routine or this plan that my friend did. Whatever plan you choose that you feel suits you, you need to make sure that you adhere to that plan regularly, so R, okay? You need to make sure it's intense enough. Now, intensity will vary from person to person, where you are, what you've done previously. If you're getting through the workout easy peasy, and at the end of it you're barely sweating, you catch your breath, you're like, oh great, that would suggest it's too easy for you, and then you're attending that session, you're not working at that session, and it happens, okay? Some people like to have that feeling of, box ticked, I did my workout, but they picked the easiest workout on YouTube, they got it done, they didn't really challenge themselves, but they feel better because they've done something, and that's great in the early days, but you need the intensity to get results. So you need to almost be struggling. If it's a set-based program, you should be struggling to finish the third set, if it was that kind of setup. You should be out of breath, puffed, sweaty. You should finish the routine, but man, that hurts. A day or two later, the muscles should be sore. That suggests it's intense enough.
I used to have a client, just before you go on with that one, I used to have a client, this was years ago, and I had these same principles worked through and through. They've worked for many, many years now. And it talked about the intensity, it has to be intense. And this particular client was 72 or 73, I can't remember. And she was early 70s, and she was like, Stephen, I don't do intense, like I'm in my 70s. I'm like, I think you misunderstand what I mean by intense. When I say intense, I just mean intense for you. And for her, for this particular client, she was training to be able to, because she didn't drive, she got a taxi to go to the supermarket, and she used to carry her shopping bags from the taxi just to her front door, and she always have need help for it. And this particular client, like, intensity was just actually holding weights in her hand. That was it. That was her intensity, because it was very specific to her. So whatever your fitness level is, whatever you're going through right now, whatever you choose as your fitness, whether you want to join our membership, which you can do at the moment or not, it comes down to what you choose for your exercise. Just make sure that you're out of your comfort zone. It should feel pretty uncomfortable. It's like, I don't like it, but I kind of do like it at the same time. It's a bit of a love-hate relationship.
So as part of the RI piece, it's regular, intense, as Stephen's covered there, and it needs to be progressive. Now, progressive means that if you're regular and intense enough, the progression will naturally happen. But what will happen is, if something starts to get easier and you're finishing the workout again, easy peasy, you're like, great, and you'll have that workout where you celebrate it. Well, I got all the way through that and it was not too bad. Celebrate that one night, because the next time you do that workout, you need to make it harder. Sometimes it's adding in more reps, sometimes it's increasing the weight, sometimes it's reducing the rest or changing up the exercises, but you need to be able to make it progressive. If you get your workouts regularly, they're intense enough, and you're willing to change them and progress them as and when needed, that you can apply those principles to any program you follow and the results will flow.
So, whether you've had children or not, those principles will play into this. When you've had children, obviously we talked about rewiring your abs, we talked about getting active, reclaiming your body from that process, whether it's you've just had a baby or you're months, years, or even decades down the line, you've still got to reclaim your body, get in that exercise, make sure that you are making sure it's regular, intense and progressive. And when it comes to your nutrition, can't really go too in depth about nutrition today, so it's going to be quite a short live session, but look at the foods that make you feel good, not just while you're eating them, but half an hour later, an hour later, 3 hours later. You think eating a donut makes you feel good in the moment, but half hour later you're like, I shouldn't have had that, I feel like crap. And then an hour later you're like, yeah, definitely shouldn't have had that. And then the week after you're like, oh man, why did I do that? But on a regular basis, you think, what foods make me feel good? Okay, and if you go with that, you can't go far wrong. We will go more in depth about nutrition in a later live for general weight loss. We can talk about it. But for today, specifically for females who've had children, can you lose weight and how to go about it? Yes, absolutely. Follow those steps we've provided today, and just think about your nutrition going, actually, 1, what makes me feel good? 2, what's going to set a good example for my children, whether they're a month old, 3 months old, or 30 years old. What sets a good example? Because your children will, I still look at my parents and I want to be inspired by them. I want to be inspired by them, and you naturally, respect them. So always remember that you're always an example to your children, always. So think about what you're eating. And you can't go far wrong. You really can't go far wrong.
Now we're going to be doing a lot more of these lives, a lot of sort of micro lessons, and we'll be covering lots of different things from the nutrition side of things, more exercise points, hormonal. Hormonal will play into losing weight after children as well, but it's a bit of a deeper, more complicated live. So we're going to be doing a lot more lives over the next couple of weeks. If you are interested in working with us on your weight loss journey, just go to thekiltedcoaches.com, which I'll put into the comments just now. Put into there as well. And you can have a look at how we could help you get the results you're looking for.
When you go to thekiltedcoaches.com, just click on weight loss, you read all about the membership, and if you want to chat to somebody, then Sharna is there for you.
Super Sharna. We only open our doors twice per year, so actually this will be the last time for this year.
Yeah, we won't open again in 2022, so you've got a couple of weeks or until all the spaces have gone. It is always a limited intake, so if you're thinking, I need to take action on this, then let's get on it.
We already had a bunch of people already signed up. We were chatting to them earlier, which was great. So just meet new people on their journey.
Yeah, quick little shout out to Diane. She says, hi gentlemen, 2 months after delivery here. Diane.
Big days, Diane.
Perfect live session for you.
Yeah.
Paula says, hi guys. And Robin says, you guys are wonderful.
Ken says, hey guys, good to see you. Miranda, former member, says, hey guys, seen your pop on, wanted to say hello, hope you're having a good Memorial Day. I'm fishing with my nephew.
Nice.
Catch a fish.
Norma says, good evening. Paula says, beautiful day in Central California.
Rob Sutherland says, hi Stephen Rabb, nice to see you. Nice to see Rob. Sarah Slade's on and Susan, both are clan members, so gunshot for you guys.
Happy days, nice to see you. Gregory says, lettuce is good food, ? And cheese, I believe. Lettuce and cheese. Gregory says, sure, absolutely sure. Donna says, 2 years in lockdown, need to lose some weight. Well, Donna, pop over to thekiltedcoaches.com, read up about our membership. The doors will be open for a couple of weeks, so get in there, and they will not open again until January, probably January next year.
Yeah. So get stuck in now. Don't delay. It's not expensive. So you get in there, get the results you're looking for, get going with it.
Yeah.
Susan says, definitely a love-hate relationship with my workouts for sure.
Yeah. Gregoris said, I don't know for the poppy. Gregoris, I'm not too sure what you're meaning here. Hi from Virginia, says John. And Diane said, had C-section with complications and major blood loss, needed transfusion. Doctor said it would take months to regain iron levels. Any food suggestions? So Diane, get in with the green leafy vegetables as much as you possibly can. Get in some good red meat. Get in some Brazil nuts, and basically mix up your nut selections as much as you can. And then iron supplements will always be a win if you've got really low levels. Recover quickly. Make sure you're resting, because nothing can beat nature. Time, give your body time, give it rest, give it love. Because as much as iron's going to be important, absolutely. Your body will heal itself if it's got the right environment to do so.
Jane Phillips signed back up again, so we were chatting with you earlier today, Jane, so it was great to have you back on board.
Yay! Gregoris, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Do you know something for that? For Poppy, I'm not too sure. And then you follow up by saying, only white cheese is good. I'm confused. Us too, buddy. Us too.
Vivian says, will you be covering losing weight with the likes of diabetes? Yes, Vivian. So quite a few of our members have type 2 diabetes, and some of them have actually reversed it. There's a couple with type 1 as well, so we're very familiar with working with that, so don't panic. If that is your situation, or you know someone that is, then helps. The hints and tips we can give you will help.
Yeah. Clarche is on. She says, hi Donna, I am still breastfeeding and have heard the body hold onto fat for this. Donna, so breastfeeding is really good for you and for babies, so absolutely. Does it hold on to fat? Not necessarily, actually. It's a really good way of your body using more fat to produce the milk. So no, absolutely not. Don't worry about that. Keep breastfeeding.
Lisa sent us some stars, so I've just been scrolling up from the bottom.
Cool. Lisa Mitchell, I'm on my menopause, not much difference than after I had my babies. The extra weight gain and inches around the hips and middle just seem to show up overnight. Still need to remember what Rab said before, 5 things to change in your lifestyle and get stuck in. Just wish you guys could be in my mirror every day reminding me to stay focused. Thanks for all you do. Lisa, what to do is take a screenshot of us right now. Print it off, put it on your mirror.
Teresa's saying, I was thin, 103 pounds after having my youngest, but due to illness and an accident, I gained a lot of weight over 60s. So Teresa, if you want any help with losing any weight at all or getting fitter and healthier, just go to thekiltedcoaches.com. I will send that to you right now.
Cool. Anderson Priaro, love you guys. Gregoris is still saying random things. I'm not too sure what you're talking about. I hear cypress tree, tomato, okay. Love it. Paula says, hi guys.
Lisa says she got the screenshot.
Ah, nice one. Bobby, as an old guy, I've seen plenty of women, family and friends who have succeeded and failed at attempts to regain their healthy bodies post-baby. You boys are spot on. I've seen them try every system under the sun, but your RIP is the one unifying factor that has always made it work for any of them. They're all heroes to be celebrated for creating life, and they all deserve all the love, sensitivity and support from all of us guys as they regain their own health. Appreciate your perspective for those heroes. Absolutely, Bobby. Yeah.
Spot on.
You think about all the best people in the world, like the best people that have achieved wonderful things from, I don't know, Einstein to Marie Curie to, I don't know, I'm going to put Elon Musk on that list with all the things he's doing at the moment. I don't know if you love him or hate him. Any person that's done absolutely incredible things for the human race, they were all made by women. They were all made by mothers. They all had mothers. You're like, yeah, you ladies are pretty awesome.
Kathy says, good evening. I guess it's time I stop blaming my son. He's 16. With your programme, I'm the lowest weight I've been in about 20 years. So gunshot for Kathy, one of our loyal members again.
Awesome.
She's sticking to the damn plan.
You got that one already.
Boom. Cool. I think we're pretty much up to date with that one.
Happy days.
Cool. Boom.
Right, guys.
Again,
Short
live. There's going to be more of these over the next couple of weeks as well, so stay tuned, stay frosty.
Yeah, lots of love to you all. See you later.
Speak soon, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.